Welcome to the Breathe Your Way podcast. I am your host, Alex, and this is a show where we explore the topics that evolve around breathing and meditation and how you can live your life from a more authentic place. Today, I am so grateful to have this wonderful guest with me on the podcast. Welcome, Ben Ward.
Thank you very much. Hi, how are you today?
I'm so good. And you?
Yeah, good. Really good.
Yeah. I'll introduce you in a minute, but before we do anything, I'm going to invite us both and the listeners to take a moment to take a few deep breaths together. And so I'm going to invite you all to close your eyes unless you're driving a motorized vehicle. So when you're ready, close your eyes. And then we're going to take a big deep breath together. And you can exhale through your mouth. And you can keep your eyes closed. And just feel what it's like to breathe. And in a world that spins and moves very quickly, it's always good to be reminded that you can always find a source of peace by taking a few deep breaths. And if you can, relax your facial muscles, relax your jaw. This will allow you to let go of tension that has been stored in these areas. And whenever you do this, you will notice that your brain suggests an incredible amount of things that you could be thinking of. And know that this is so natural. But every time you practice focusing on your breath, you will become better and better each time. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and come back to the room. Good morning. Benjamin Ward, a warm welcome to you. Thank you for being my guest today.
It's a pleasure.
It's a pleasure. And I always invite my guests to introduce themselves. Who are you today?
My name is Ben Ward. I moved to Norway almost 5 years ago to find the Norwegian dream, shall we say, of living more off the land, living a bit more simple. And my choices brought me to a wonderful place called Luster, where I now have a mountain farm perched high above the fjords. And that's pretty much where I am at the minute, just still renovating and fixing it up, trying to learn the Norwegian way of kind of the old way almost, living closer to nature. So, yeah.
And for anyone who doesn't know Ben, he has been in the Norwegian NRK program that ingen skulle at nokon kunne bo. And I think that we can all agree that it has been quite a success, these 2 episodes with you. There's been an incredible amount of people, both nationally and internationally, who've seen you on this show. And that's where I saw you as well.
Yes.
And the reason why I wanted to bring you on the show today is because I've been very inspired by following your journey. And what has inspired me the most, I would say, is that you have shared from your journey from a very heartfelt and humble place. And if I was to guess, I would think that this is the ingredient that has led to so many people watching this, because I don't know if this is something you've done intentionally or if you're always just that person, but you've opened, I feel like you've opened your heart and let people really in a very truthful way. Yeah. Would you agree to that?
Yeah, I would actually. Yeah. I think I've learnt that transparency is very important in any situation, actually. So, and yeah, I think the episodes really show that. I just wear my heart on my sleeve.
Yeah. No, and I want to thank you for that, Ben, because I think that is medicine, what you've shared with us. I think in a world that becomes increasingly scary and increasingly quite alien, I would say. I think there's a lot of people that are scared from what's happening around the world. Things start to look quite different from what we maybe know. But I'm hopeful, because I think that when things get tough, we also get more real. And I think that that's how we connect.
Makes sense.
Yeah. But you've made quite a bold move a few years ago. I know that you're from London.
Yes.
Born and bred. And you were introduced to Norway through someone that you met who's from here, right?
Yeah. Yes.
How did you feel the first time you came to this area?
So the first time I came here was in 2020, late 2019 actually.
All right.
And that was to view the property. I think that was October time.
All right.
And, coming from the city, a busy lifestyle, to Luster in the coming end of the summer, beginning of winter, kind of.
All right.
Everything, leaves were off the trees, black and white almost with the snowfall. So maybe it was November actually. But yeah. And the silence, the quiet, the no noise was like, whoa, what is this? And that was the first kind of culture shock for me, was the quiet actually. Yeah. But also the untouched beauty in Norway. It feels very raw. I spent many years, or 5 years in Switzerland, and that's a beautiful country. Every mountain pretty much has got a restaurant or a bar on top of it. And
we've got a bit to go to do that in Norway.
So you come to Norway, and if you want to go up a mountain, you've got to earn it. If you want to eat, you've got to take it. It's very raw living.
Yeah,
I think that's what attracted me.
Yeah. Oh, that's fascinating. And for anyone who doesn't know, Ben lives in Kroken gård in Luster kommune, municipality. And it's at the end of actually the world's longest fjord.
And deepest.
Sognefjorden, yeah. And then it turns, so the Sognefjorden goes kind of from the west side of the country and into the middle of the country, towards the middle. And then it goes up north a little bit, and exactly that at that point is where you have been living for the past
almost 4 years.
4 years. Yeah.
The first place was in the same area but a different property. And that was with my ex-partner.
Yeah. And the silence is what fascinated you. Did it scare you as well?
No, it's not what fascinated me actually.
No?
It's just, it was something I noticed. There was a big difference.
Yeah.
And first it was all very exciting, and I was fixing the place up with Marta. It wasn't until we finished that project and I moved up to Kroken that I really felt the quiet, because then I also was alone.
Yeah.
Didn't have anyone to communicate with.
No.
I just had so when I moved up there, I didn't realize, but the phone company I was using didn't have signal on the phone. So if I wanted to communicate, I had to go to the front of the land and almost, old school, hold the phone up in the sky to pick up any text messages and things like that. I deleted all social media when I moved there. I'm not extremely close with my family, so we don't communicate that often. So I was really alone. And, in this day and age, there's not many opportunities, or we don't give ourselves many opportunities to not be distracted by something. So in that moment I was like, okay, I'm not looking at my phone. I'm not talking to people. I'm not watching traffic. I'm not hearing noise, unnatural noises. And that was when it was like, whoa, that's when the voices start.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a real, I don't know if you call it culture shock, but a real, an unexpected hurdle.
Yeah.
Or just a very unexpected.
Yeah. And I can only imagine, but I think it's only natural that when we get this idea of doing something like you had, as you also share in the show, that you had this idea of, building this farm or refurbishing this farm that hadn't been used for 60 years. And I think in that moment, I'm imagining that you saw the potential.
Yes.
You saw the dream. You felt something, there was something ignited in you of what this could be. And then the real reality probably hit of what it was like.
Because like growing up, I've always worked in construction.
Yeah.
Like renovating property. So
so you knew that.
Yeah, I built all the skills that were needed to do this alone, so to speak.
Yeah.
I just wasn't prepared for the mental side of it that was going to come. And I didn't even know it existed, actually.
No.
Yeah, I didn't know about all these. I mean, I always had a very chaotic mind. We talk about these positive and negative mind voices in our heads, call it, or but I was always distracted. Yeah. I was working during the week when I wasn't on. I was seeing friends and out at the weekends, and before you know it, it's wake up, work, see friends, sleep, or gym, sleep, eat and sleep. You never stop.
No,
it's always on the go.
Yeah, and that's how we live.
And that's
every single one of us.
Yeah.
And I find that people report that the silence is scary.
Very.
Yeah. It's incredibly confronting to actually have to listen to the voices.
Have you ever tried it?
I have, yeah.
Yeah, of course you have.
Yeah. Yeah. But I always say that, meditation is a practice. In English, we call it a meditation practice. And it still is for me, even though I've been teaching this for a few years now. We still have the same mind. We still have the same nervous system. And there's a lot of, I think that we actually don't know that a lot of that dialogue, that inner dialogue, is our fear speaking. Because essentially our nervous system is only trying to keep us alive. There are not that many dangerous animals running around us anymore, the way that we live today. But there's always things that we're nervous about or a little bit scared about or things that we're comprehensive about. But they're so subtle. And we don't actually identify these things as fear. But I think that maybe what you experienced in that moment when everything was silent is something that's just so fundamental, the fear of not being part of a pack, of a group.
Yeah, definitely.
And you expressed this as well in the show, that you were very open about how you felt lonely. And in meditation, we say that being comfortable with the loneliness allows you to connect to who you are and kind of find a home inside, being comfortable with that. Was there a moment where you felt internally that anything changed? I mean, now you live quite a different life. I think now you've connected with a lot more people probably, and you've created events and things that happen if we fast forward to today. But was there a moment in time where things started to change for you?
I think because, the whole project of taking on Kruken was kind of, I never really had a role model growing up. So this offered me the opportunity to see if I actually could be the man that I didn't have in my life growing up. So everything I'd learned about, my upbringing as a kid, through work, through bosses, through everything. What did I take from all of that to what kind of man do I want to be? And this project was kind of like, okay, well, this is going to push me to the limits to really figure out who am I. And that was kind of the scary part at the beginning, because the silence brings the voices, and the voices sometimes can be the fear, and the fear brings doubt, and before you know it, you're beating yourself up in the silence up on the side of a mountain. So for me, because I was unsure about who I am, about who I was going to be, doubt was the first voice, and fear was the first voice that attacked me. So then it was the battle of, okay, well, who am I? Why have I taken this on? Why am I alone? Am I alone because nobody wants me? Am I alone because I've got no friends? You know, all these bad thoughts came in.
Very difficult thoughts.
And then that was really hard.
Yeah.
And then progression with the farm, you know, I took it over and then everything seemed to just go to pot, let's call it.
Yeah.
So it was, you know, I wouldn't say I'm chaotic, but I like to be busy.
Yeah.
I like to always be busy, be doing stuff.
Yeah.
On my house, other people's house, love a dognad. As long as I'm busy, I'm good. It's when I'm not achieving anything or helping anyone, I feel useless.
Yeah.
And that for a while was what was happening because I was going away, working for the boss, building these cabins.
Yeah.
But when I'd come home, that was my one time to get stuff done. But the money I was earning, I was sending it back to the people I borrowed from just to buy the place. Didn't have money to buy materials or anything like that. So it was just dead end. I'd come home exhausted, couldn't buy material, couldn't get anything done. I was just basically cleaning. So for, I think it was like a year and a half before there was any actual real progression and changing myself actually.
Yeah.
So I beat myself up for a long time. And that was where the habits, that drinking habits became a bit of an issue actually.
Yeah.
To try and numb the voices.
Yeah. And
so
we all do in different ways,
Mm.
distracting ourselves or
Yeah.
drinking or so natural to do that.
Yeah.
Because that's a lot to handle by yourself.
And it's like looking back, it's the worst form of self-medication ever.
Yeah.
But when you're on your own, you've got nobody else to turn to. Sometimes it just grabs you.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's only natural.
Yeah.
Trying to find a way.
Yeah.
But was there a moment that you can remember where you started feeling or remembering why you did this? Or did the voices change? Did someone come into your life?
I think it's always been there since the beginning that I want to be a good man.
Yeah.
I want to be a good man. I want to be a good dad. I want to be a good husband. So that was always the driving force. Now, even though the doubting voices and the fear were always trying to kick me down, the goal was always to be him, to be that man. So I think that never changed really. It was just I postponed it with doubt for so long. Yeah. Knocking myself down. And I don't, never really thought about it.
No. You might not have a choice or have an answer to that. Well, that's really, I find that so inspiring. And I'm sure that a lot of the people around you would also question your project to say, you know, are you crazy to live in the middle of nowhere?
That was everyone's opinion.
Yeah.
You know, you're not from there. You don't have any friends from there. I mean, I had 2 friends at a village.
Yeah.
But when I moved there, I didn't know anyone.
No.
I'm like, what are you doing? And then I separated from Martha and then it was kind of like the normal decision would be, okay, come home.
Yeah.
Come back to England, come back to what you know.
That makes sense to people.
So then, everyone was like, just confused actually.
Yeah. Probably.
And then because I cut all social media, didn't have phone signal, so it was just like I fell off the face of the earth actually.
Yeah. But I always say this to people if people tell me they're something that they're dreaming of, something that they really want to do in their lives, I always tell them not to tell anyone that might influence you based on their own fears.
Yes, 100%.
And we think it's only, you know, especially our parents or family that are older than us, you know, it's their form of care.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you how to be sensible.
Yeah, definitely.
You clearly don't know, you know, but
because I think that's the difference with execution.
Yeah.
So if you say, I'm thinking about doing this, then that gives someone the opportunity to go, you know, they'll be the doubting voice for you. Whereas if you're like, I'm doing this, because, you know, it's like, it depends how you and I've only noticed that recently.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, this treehouse is getting done. Okay, I'm going to, and everyone's like, they get enthusiastic about my enthusiasm.
Yeah.
So I guess with the delivery of your dreams is important, because if you're unsure, you allow uncertainty in.
That is so true. That is such a good point. Yeah, it's about how you carry yourself and that dream.
Definitely.
Well, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't
and it's
have
like,
to...
yeah, you've got your standing up, your chin is high, you're feeling strong. And, someone who's not in that energy space is like, well, I'm not going to stand up to you.
Yeah, exactly.
It seems like you're in control. Yeah.
Seems like you've got it all figured out. And
really.
Behind the scenes, you might not have all the steps.
True,
but it's so important. And in the previous guest I had is a Norwegian man named Viggo Johansen. That episode is in Norwegian, but we talk about this, about the fact that you don't need to have a plan. And he cracks this joke, which I will repeat because I think it's a good one. He says, do you know how to make God laugh? And the answer is, tell him about your plans. And the thing with that is that we make plans all the time. But actually, if we're really honest, they will change.
Always.
Always. We spend so much time trying to predict the future. And it's incredible because we can't control it. So whether you think that, our future is governed or ruled by a God or a bigger source, that's, irrelevant, because we don't actually control the future, but we can take a step in the direction that we want, and somehow it will unfold for us. Yeah. But you had some sort of drive, you had some sort of want, something that you were longing for. And somehow, and as you said, this was wanting to be a good person, wanting to be a good man. And that farm on the hillside, how many meters above sea level?
250.
250, yeah.
It's a beautiful view looking out at the water.
It's incredible. It's incredible, the fjords and the mountains. That became your tool, in a way, to pursue what was your dream deep down. So it's a huge contrast going from London to these fjords of Norway. You said you've been in Switzerland in between and traveled a bit, but it's a huge contrast. What do you think, what is the role of being surrounded by this nature?
I think
in the pursuit of your dream.
So say I want to figure out who I am. I want to prove to myself that I'm a box, and this is what is a good, in my mind, this is what is a good man. Do I tick all those on the list, right? Now in the city, I'm distracted by everything. So it's really hard to analyze myself in things that I do and the circumstances of those decisions in the city, because there's too much noise. Whereas in my life, in my the world I've created up on Kroken, I see everything.
Yeah, it's very confronting.
And it's every decision I make, the outcome is there. The circumstances in front of me. So it's really easy to analyze things I've done and the outcome of that decision, which then helps me to figure out who am I. Again, how when I do certain things, what happens and where does that then take me? Is that a direction I want to go? If not, well, at least now I know I did. Now I do something different. Whereas it's so easy when I was living in London, I do the same stuff over and over again, and I haven't got time to think about the outcome. Everything's so fast. Oh, I've got to get to work. Oh, I've got to get back. Oh, I've got to make food. Before you know it, you're in a hamster wheel of a life, and you can't analyze because you don't have time.
No, there's no way to be mindful.
No, not at all.
Of anything.
Yeah. So for me, Norway or Luster or Kroken is my sanctuary of silence, call it.
Yeah.
Where I can just really connect with me.
Yeah. That's beautiful. I am really interested in the role of the man and woman in our society. I'm really interested in looking at the history of how we've used to live, how we live today. And I find it quite interesting that I didn't know this before we sat down today. You know, what was your driving force behind where you are? And I find it really interesting that you say you want to be a good man. You want to find what it is to be a good man to you and not having a good role model. I think it's also quite interesting how, you know, a lot of the work that we do in the cities, both man and women, is behind a computer. We work on projects that are quite non-tangible, like being, for example, a project manager. Like for me, I came from architecture. You know, there's a built project in the end, but it might take years, you know. So every day we go to work and every day we work behind a computer, and there's this kind of almost fictional, you know, what we're working on. And I'd think that there is a true joy of actually building things with your hand. Like there's a tree, it needs to be cut because I need to keep warm in the winter. And I find it quite interesting that the way that you live today, except for maybe the social media and the TV production and so on, you live as if it was 100 years ago. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. I prep food.
Yeah.
I make wood a year before.
Yeah.
Firewood. I'm making my own timber.
Yeah. You have chickens.
Building everything with my own hands.
Yeah.
You know, got a computer. Seldom I'm behind it.
Yeah.
I do the social media stuff now, sort of from the phone, but yeah, I mean, ideally to get back to the old way is the dream for me, actually. More hands-on stuff, the better. Yeah. Because that's where I thrive. My hands in the dirt or building stuff or fixing things. Yeah. So,
yeah, and I think that's only natural, actually. Think about it. I always say that humans are not meant to live inside concrete boxes because concrete is pretty dead. You know, we need to be around things that are alive. We need to be around trees and grass and oceans and things that actually have a vibration.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think that this is something that we forget because it's just so normal to live inside big cities. And I've seen that seen through social media that you also have quite a lot of people come to the farm. You teach young boys how to do carpentry. What does that mean to you?
You know, going back to the what is a good man or what I think is a good man. So when, for example, growing up, what people taught me or people I work with, what their intentions were behind those lessons was usually for their own gain. So for me, working with, it's Michael who's there at the minute. Working with him is a way to share some of this knowledge that I have in a way that's not rushed. I'm not, you've got to do this by then because we've got a price on something. It's like, no, you learn at your own pace. It's for me, it's very fulfilling to be able to share and give back in any way I can. Wow. So that's really, it's just, I'm not related to him or, he just lives nearby, but it's still a really good feeling, almost like I'm kind of father-son relationship almost.
And how old is he?
18.
18.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, he's young enough to be my kid.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, it's a good feeling to give back.
Yeah. It's unconditional love.
Yeah.
What you're giving.
Yeah.
Yeah. From a place of your own heart and wanting to give. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's really beautiful. I think that a lot of people could have a lot to discover through doing exactly what you say, because it's, we've grown up in a society where we calculate everything. We think and talk about money quite a lot of the time. For efficiency, there's nothing we do without thinking of numbers or yeah,
I agree.
But also, I'm sure that these tools that you're teaching, they're not, you could have been teaching him English grammar, but you're teaching him physical labor, which also, if we think about how our bodies work and how our nervous system works, we're meant to be using our bodies.
Yeah.
We're meant to be feeling oxytocin and endorphins running around the system because we're using our bodies.
Yeah. It's like, so he was mostly, we met because he worked at the church as a guide. But outside of that, he just was doing a lot of gaming.
Yeah.
So by coming up and spending time, he will stay Monday to Friday.
All right.
And he lives like I live. So he eats the same food. He helps me chop wood. So it's like setting in his subconscious that, if you want to be a man, you have to be able to provide. You have to be able to create. You have to be able to prepare. And I think that's a really good lesson. It's really paying off, actually, because he's aware of everything that is needed in a day-to-day basis of living the lifestyle that I lead. So he's not just coming there to learn carpentry, actually. He's learning my lifestyle. And I think that's actually a bigger lesson than just the carpentry.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
I think that's so... he's learning how to be useful.
Very.
Be of use. And we need that.
Yeah.
We need to belong. We need to be of use. And to be of service is something that
Definitely.
I don't think that we've learned it. I don't think that's a common thing to teach our kids, maybe. But I strongly believe we need to get back to that.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think that I quite often come back to this topic in my podcast or in my conversations around depression and suicide. It's a very difficult topic, but I think we need to talk about it because it's rising and it affects men more than women. So I think on the topic of what is it to be a good man? What is it to be not a good man in terms of pleasing others, but what is it to feel of use, feel masculine, feel like you're living out your true nature.
Purpose as well.
Yeah.
Just to have a purpose.
Yeah.
And to feel needed.
Yeah.
We live in such a systematical lifestyle now. Everyone goes to the store. Power comes from the grid. You live in a block with multiple people. You're just a number, really. So it's like in, say, the old ways, there'd be towns, maybe someone was chopping wood, and that's really important. One guy's a baker, one guy's a blacksmith. Everyone has their purpose and their use. And without you in the chain falls apart kind of thing.
Yeah.
And we're so far from that now.
We really
Whereas, so I think there's something in it where without knowing, we feel like if we weren't here, the system would still go. Actually.
Yeah. We feel almost insignificant.
Yes, definitely.
And that's really dangerous because we're not. I mean,
definitely.
I always come back to this. We're 8 billion people and there is not one
single same
person. And that's something that we truly need to remember. Is there an advice that we could form if you're a young man listening to this and you're living in the city, most people are living far from the lifestyle that you're describing. How can we be of use, do you think? How can we connect?
I think the way to look at it is, how can you make the world a better place? One small thing at a time. A smile, open the door for someone. There's I wouldn't say I'm a religious man, but I do read bits from the Bible, and there's a phrase, it's as a man soweth, so shall he reap. So what you put out in the world, you get back. So if you're helping others, it may only be small things like a smile. That's a big question.
It is a big question
I
just gave to you. But I think you're onto something really good.
I think just to have it how your actions will do good in the world, or do good to there's a million things in my head right now.
Yeah.
It's really hard to get through in just a small phrase. But, and I've forgotten your question. Or it's lost in the... Yeah,
no, we got there.
So big.
No, we really got there, I think, because I think that what I get from your answer is that what you do matters.
Yeah.
You know, if we want to connect, if we want to create connections to people or feel that we're part of something bigger, we or you can take action.
You need to be the one to take the step. You can't wait for others.
No.
You need to be the instigator.
Yes, you do.
Good energy.
Yeah. Smile at someone.
Yeah.
And I have noticed this in my own life. The other day I was having a really bad day and the voices in my head were incredible. They were, I was impressed by the loudness of the critic in my head. But I knew that day, at the end of the day, I was invited to one of my really good friends who has 4 children, and her oldest daughter was being baptized because she was doing Christian, we call it confirmation. I don't know if that's the word in English. Yeah. So she was being baptized. So I knew that later in the day, I will meet people that I really like, and I'll meet all of her kids, and I know that they're going to be happy and present. So I know that when I see them, I'm going to be able to smile. Things will change. And I'm lucky to have people around me like that. But I knew that the answer here, the way to change my mood that day that was really bad, is to connect. And I know that if I show up grumpy, it's going to be terrible. You know, I need to kind of ease into that meeting. But I know that me smiling at someone, meeting someone's smile will change my whole reality. It can be as simple as that.
You take action.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. I could have cancelled, but I didn't.
But also you could have gone into the meeting with the hoping someone else was going to change your mind.
That's so true.
You've got to be the one to make the change.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah. And actually, speaking of the Bible, because I read a bit about it, a bit of it myself, there is a phrase or there is a verse that talks about how nothing comes into a closed hand. And I really use that in my life, because if I sit like this with my fists closed, I'm the one that is actually closing the door. So if I'm opening my palms, I'm allowing things to come to me. I'm opening my eyes. I'm opening my whole being to something that can enter. And from that place, I think I'm definitely starting to see examples of beautiful things happening.
That's good.
Yeah. So I think that's a bit of the same. Yeah. I think that you've offered some inspiration already to the people that are listening. What you've done to buy a place in the middle of the fjords and the mountains in Norway is quite brave, I'd say. I know that, I've heard that on the Norwegian website, finn.no. That the most searched for words in terms of real estate is småbruk, which is small farm. You'd call your place a småbruk probably, right? And I don't know if that was, if that's still the case, but it certainly has been. And this tells us that people are actually longing to get out of the town, Would you advise people to move out of town? Would you, is this for everyone? Yeah. Can anyone do it?
I don't think it's for everyone. No, because, like you said, we're all different. But I definitely think, maybe it's not smart just to sell everything up and buy a farm. Try it. There's so many places that need help. Yeah. There's so many farmers that need an extra pair of hands. You can try the lifestyle, and you can do it for free. You don't need to buy a place to try it. So get a taste of it, and live the life through, an easier means first. Yeah. Just so you're not throwing all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
Give it come to Kroken. Do
Yeah,
some work.
go to Kroken and chop some wood.
But, I definitely think if go into it like you can't turn back. If you're going to do it, there was an old story of a Viking king who sailed to new lands to conquer the land. And when they arrived on the beach, he made them burn the boats because there was no way back. So it's all about mindset. If you're going to do it to the end. Don't give up. See it through, because it's not, I had a great saying, it's not what you get that makes you valuable, it's who you become from it. So if you set your bar high and you see it through, you're going to come out the other end a completely different person. So, yeah. I think it's only in life, set yourself challenges and set them high, because you're only going to be a better person from it. I believe anyway. That's my opinion.
Yeah. I think that's a great advice. If we were able to speak to, let's say, an 8-year-old Ben, what do you think?
Not far off.
Yeah, and that's a good thing. I think that's a good thing. We should become more and more like kids. We should climb trees much more.
Oh, 80 or 8?
I said 8, yeah.
Oh,
so let's
8.
say...
Okay.
No, I
Sorry.
said 8.
Oh, you said 80. I was like, I'm getting there. Yeah, I thought,
No, I think you have a very childlike spirit, which is what we're so inspired by. I think when we, especially on social media, there's a lot of play, there's a lot of humor, which at least I'm super inspired by. No, but if we were to talk to Ben, 8 years old, what do you think he would say about the way that you live your life today?
I think he'd be so happy. This is I grew up always wanted to be a farmer.
Did you?
In a city.
I was going to ask that.
Yeah, all my toys were tractors and animals. Yeah. So I think he'd be like, good job.
Yeah.
That's exactly where I'd hoped you'd be at the age of 40.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And I think that you somehow knew that. You probably somehow knew that all along.
Yeah. I've always been like, something's not right. I'm not on the right path. This is not where I'm meant to be. Always. And now, actually, I couldn't be in a more mindful place. Like I'm doing what's good for me and what's good for the world, actually.
Yeah.
I'm making change. Good change.
Yeah. Would you say that you're living your purpose?
Yes. Right now, I am actually. I'm spreading good energy.
Yeah.
And that's a great feeling.
Yeah. That's incredible.
Yeah.
No, I strongly believe that we are born with a knowing of what we came here to do for the sake of creating a better world. Because I think that we all have different skills, different interests. It's fascinating how someone can be so different from me, And if we all went in the direction and nurtured that part of us, we could create a society that was so versatile, so, where there was a place for everyone.
Yeah.
So I think that we should all go back to that the little version of ourselves and see what were we longing for. Yeah. Yeah. And just to tap back into where we started, like when you were on the show as well, you talk a little bit about what it is to be lonely. And do you ever, what's your relationship with loneliness today? Do you ever get lonely?
Yeah, because I love people.
Yeah.
I really love being around people. So it's different because if I'm by myself now and I'm getting stuff done with the purpose for other people, like the treehouse. I'm building a treehouse now, and that's so that people will come and enjoy it. So for me, loneliness with purpose is okay.
Yeah.
Loneliness with no purpose is a hard road. So, and I understand it a little bit better now. So if I know I'm going to be on my own, I know I plan to be busy, to be achieving stuff at the farm.
Yeah.
And that works for me.
Yeah.
I think everyone's got their own way of dealing with it, so to speak. Because, loneliness, what is it? It's like another word for solitude. A time for reflection or, you know. So, like we spoke about earlier, we don't anymore. We're so distracted. So then when you put your phone down and then you start reflecting or the voices get louder, we're not used to that.
No.
So
No.
it's just, but sometimes you just got to do it actually. You've got to take the first step and you've got to start listening. And nowadays we don't listen anymore.
No, we don't. No.
And maybe don't buy a mountain farm and do months on end of no speaking to people. Just go into a dark room.
Yeah.
Leave your phone outside.
Yeah.
Start with 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Build up to 30 minutes. See what happens. See what you list. See what starts coming into your mind. Write everything down.
Yeah.
Then start forming patterns, because I truly believe that the voice in our head is sometimes not us actually. Call it intuition or God or so. And there's
information there.
There's always
think?
information daily, thousands and thousands of times. Because when I close my mouth and I'm talking in my mind, sometimes that's me, but most of the time when I call them hits or intuition or ideas, they're not from me, they're from somewhere else.
But you've created the space to listen to that.
Exactly, yeah. No, but you can do it. Anyone can do it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just to stop.
That's why I teach meditation.
Yeah, exactly.
I there's this phrase, don't know where it came from, but they say praying is talking to God and meditation is listening in.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah.
You know? But with the amount of solitude that you've had, maybe you've created, you've become familiar with these voices.
Yeah.
They're not alien to you.
No.
So you know.
Now I know which one pushing me forward and which one is holding me back.
Yeah, which ones come from fear,
Yeah.
you know, the critic, and what is actually your intuition speaking to you.
Yeah. And you can play with it actually.
Yeah.
So you can, I spoke about it in one of my talks where, you know, if you're something as simple as you're sitting on the couch, like, right, I'm going to go to bed. You go to walk to the stairs and there's a cup on the side. And in your mind, a voice goes, I'll put that in the sink, wash it up, put it away. And then immediately another voice goes, no, I'll do it tomorrow. Stop right there, because that's two voices and none of them were you. One's pushing you forwards, one's keeping you exactly where you are.
Wow.
So if you can do small wins where you listen to the positive voice, wash the cup up, put those clothes in the washing machine, tidy up that mess in the corner of the room, these small wins, you're empowering the positive voice, and then what will happen is that voice then gets louder and the negative one gets quieter, and then that's when the creativity really starts flowing.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's like magic.
Yeah,
really.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. I think that's an
pleasure.
incredibly great way of putting it. And yeah, just on the topic of loneliness, it's like I really enjoy the fact that you say that there's a purpose behind the loneliness, because we need to connect. Like, we want to be around each other. And I think that we live in a society where we've thought that we needed to handle everything on our own. It's incredibly individualistic. And right now you and I are sat in Oslo, the capital of Norway. It's the city in the world with the highest amount of people living by themselves. 50% of these flats around here are people living by themselves. And this is incredible to me, you know, that this is the society that we've created. But I really think it's the time to connect to each other.
Yeah,
talk to your neighbor. I mean, I used to live in Oslo in a flat that was what I could afford when I wanted to get a loan and get an apartment a few years ago. And I was thrilled because it was beautiful. It was an old women's house. So it was built in the 30s when someone wanted to give an opportunity for unmarried women to live by themselves. And it was beautifully drawn and beautiful details, but it had a bathroom in the corridor and it had shared balconies. And there's almost no flats like this anymore. But what it did was that because we met in the hallway, because we talked about whether or not there was toilet paper, or we sat together on the balcony, we started talking. And I knew all of my neighbors, and some of them were 80, some of them were 19, you know. So it's things like this that we can create these meetings, whether or not you're sharing
Bring
a toilet.
back corridor toilets.
That's the moral of the story. No, but talk to your neighbor.
Yeah, of course.
Your neighbor might be needing your how are you that day, and be of use. I think that
it's all about being bold as well.
Yeah.
It's almost like everyone's, shoulders are low and like, I don't want to disturb anyone.
Yeah.
Say hi.
That's very Norwegian.
Confidence is key.
Yeah, but it's very Norwegian, isn't it? To not be
It's very international now, I think.
Yeah, maybe.
It's like in London, everyone keeps their head down, don't they?
Yeah, I don't want to bother you.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
With my smile.
Yeah, really. It's ridiculous.
No, anyone who's seen you on TV knows that your smile is very contagious. And I think that we can all be inspired by that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ben.
Thank you.
For being on this show. I'm so, so grateful for being able to share this moment and to share it with other people.
Yeah,
as
great.
well. Yeah. I think that we've heard you naturally come with so many great advice, and I thank you so much for that. And anyone who wants to connect with you can find you on Instagram, Ben Ward, right?
_ Krukengård.
Oh, Krokengård is in there. Yeah.
I actually spelled it wrong, so it's Krukengård.
Oh well.
Yeah, it's too late to change it now.
You tried your best. Yeah, and we can find you also, if you want to read about your farm, we can find you on krokengård.no, I think. Or .com maybe.
I think you'll see it all on Instagram.
Yeah,
and
you'll
stuff.
find it
Yeah,
all there.
I'm not so active on the website.
No, all right. Well, I'm excited to see all your future projects and the future inspiration that you'll share with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.